When making this video, I asked myself, what exactly do I want to accomplish? Do I want to take a fat, heaping, steaming crocodile shit on graphic tees and graphic tee brands? No, of course not. How about a little baby, like a little baby shit with positivity? Possibly. I'm at the point where I like graphic tees now. At one point I didn't, because I was an honorary member, a humble servant of the Heaven's Gate menswear fashion cult. But I've been reborn. Since the beginning of time, graphic tees have been around. Well, not really, but they've been around for a very long time, and as of recent years, their significance have declined, in my opinion, due to multiple reasons. Graphic tees serve an important purpose. Not every day you want to put on a tee, a denim jacket, a leather jacket, a trench coat, an overcoat, a bomber jacket, and a hoodie all at once, especially in the Caribbean, because shit should be hot. Don't really care to do a whole history on tees, but it was predominantly used as underwear, and niggas just started wearing it after the Second World War, and yeah, that's all I'm really gonna say on it. You see, graphic tees were extremely instrumental in street fashion at one point. They represented personality and interests. If you like punk bands, you had a couple punk band tees from your shows. You liked hip-hop, you had a couple hip-hop tees. They represented hobbies, subcultures within a society, sports, activities, establishments, etc, etc, etc. The graphic tee went through various phases, and I feel like the dominant eras of graphic tees were a product of a combination of culture or norm bending, association with movements or revolutions, and innovations. All three are not necessarily to be dominant within the time, but at least one is usually present. That is my theory, I could be wrong. Take some prominent eras for the graphic tee, where the graphic tee represented powerful statements of different forms of rebellion, some more aggressive than others, and their individual experimentation or innovation of fonts and silhouettes. If you have any graphic tees or graphic brands in mind you would like to highlight, please feel free to let me know in the comment section. I'll actually love to see. But I believe that there has been a couple movements or events within the past few years that played a negative role in the development of graphic tees and graphic tee brands. First one, menswear. With the rapid rise of menswear and menswear YouTubers in the past 7 years, their philosophy was always to stay away from graphic tees because they are childish and isn't attractive to women, or it makes you seem immature. To dislike graphic tees because it's not for you is one thing, but to impose your philosophy of it, stating that it comes off as childish, isn't really a plausible reason to refrain from it. Second factor to throw under fire is luxe fashion brands. Since the spike of street fashion influence within all aspects of fashion, the major brands exploited this idea to make a couple mils. Well, in actuality, it's bills, as in billions. Take names like LV, Gucci, Burberry, Dior, and Prada. They have significantly dove into the graphic tee culture, exploding their profit margin greater than it has ever been before. Well, most of them. It can be said that the heavy purchase and use of designer graphic tees is more a reflection of the hyperconsumerism culture that we've helped cultivate that most people themselves cannot support. But that's for another video. The point I'm trying to make is fashion brands typically make the bulk of their money through accessories and perfumes and shit like that. What's the name of this channel? The Fashion Archive. He made a very good video on this. I'll probably link it below if I remember. While a graphic tee is not necessarily an accessory, it accomplishes the same dopamine rush of creating the illusion that you belong within this community and tax bracket by buying this graphic tee from LV that is cheaper than most of the other pieces like trunks and shoes and suits and shit like that, but expensive enough to please the customer. The problem with this is these designs aren't the forefront of these labels' attention, and that is no secret, and it reflects in the designs they use, simply using their name but in a particular font or little to no innovation and thought in most of the graphic designs. This message is then indirectly influential to smaller and upcoming brands
thinking that all you have to do is put your name on a tee with no big meaning behind it, or no big emphasis on brand image or design, resulting in subpar graphic tees. It's a similar situation with Supreme. This one kinda hurt. Kanye West. This is a tricky one I thought about because Kanye isn't at fault for this, but it still trails back to him. For me, it is a greater problem of the over-idolization of celebrities in certain communities, like let's say the US ecosystem. Losing more of, I don't want to get too deep and say your soul, but more of your personal identity, I guess, as you try to assimilate the projected image of celebrities. But that is also not really for this video. Specifically, I want to look at the Pablo Tour merch. I'll call this the New Romance Old English era. The design itself wasn't bad. I like the hoodies and the crew necks and the tees that came from it. It wasn't anything crazy or like revolutionizing the way that we think about fashion and graphic tees, optimizing the... No, relax. But the delivery was cool, especially for the shaping of the words into what I assume to be a commandment stone. But then niggas went overboard with it. The Pablo font got adopted by everyone for everything. And eventually that soured the whole thing for me personally. Okay, I know the best way to explain this. Is with an example. Remember when the Migos was blowing up? Especially like when they dropped Versace. Okay, back to the point. When the Migos was blowing up with their flow that wasn't anything new by any means, but it was refreshing to hear. It was like the triple flow or something like that. I can't remember the exact term for the triplets. But then everyone started to use it. So the Migos was praised for it, but then everyone else was like, meh. It's kind of like the same thing. So the thing itself wasn't bad, but then like too many people doing it the same exact way, no kind of like independent innovation towards it. Now the whole thing is just like, Lastly, now I have a particular dislike for this brand. I'll be honest. I'll show my bias immediately. The emblem of mediocrity and underperformance. The bane of my existence, to be honest. I honestly think my problem with this brand is not primarily what it physically is, because don't get confused, the brand is ass. But the bigger issue for me is what it represents. From a lack of any creativity whatsoever to the glamorizing of mental illness terms, which is a popular thing right now, to the poor quality and effort put behind marketing, which includes representation, quality of garments. I mean, they use Gilded Blanks. Like, they use Gilded Blanks, like Gilded hoodies and Gilded tees, and they sell it for like... Moving on. The brand scores an F on everything needed for a successful fashion brand. An F! Yet, that's the important part. It's the yet. Yet, it was vastly successful for a couple years. This brand is anti-social club. When you look at the amount and kind of collaborations they've had and the mass appeal they've collected, I'm not mad at the brand by any means. Do what you have to, but it's fascinating to know why this brand achieved this level of success. Hear me out. They use Gilded Blanks that they sell for 10 times I believe the mass success achieved by brands like these influence impressionable, ambitious entrepreneurs who are more invested in monetary success than creating something timeless and noteworthy. And that is nothing to knock someone on. If the objective of your brand is to make money, like you just want to be monetarily successful, then by all means just understand what you want to do and execute it. Lastly, a love letter, a get well letter to graphic tees from me. Good day, it's me again. I hope all is well. Well, I know all is not well. I know things haven't been the best for you in a while, given the temptations of your past, but you'll get through this. I believe in you, we care for you, and I hope to see you succeed in the near future. Love, Nighty San. But maybe I'm the problem and I'm taking graphic tees a bit too seriously. Anyways, this is it for this video. Make sure to like and comment if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you enjoy my channel. And yeah, this has been another video by Nighttime, made in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for watching.